Okay, I hope I am live. I'm gonna see. See if I'm live. See if I'm live. Yes, I am. Very good. I'm live. Very good to know. Anyway, I just wanted to do some news updates. If you don't catch the live show, you certainly can watch the replay. I normally will just go live whenever, and if there's anyone that watches, they watch. If not, then not. You'll catch the the replay. So I thought I'd do some news. So let me go over here. Some news. Let's see if I can do the do this streaming here, right? I have to sort of go like that and sort of bring this here if I'm correct in what I'm doing here. Guess that'll work. I don't know. Let me see if I can move. Let's see here. Just I know there's ways to do all this crap here. 1 second. Just give me a second here. It's not going to let me share the entire thing, so it's going to have to deal with me. I'm pretty sure that's. Let me see if that's coming across. Yeah, it's coming across enough. Okay, so. Hi, you see me? Hello. All right, so this is XSplit. It is a lot easier than OBS. At least it is for me. But anyway, so I just want to share some news. What's in the news? I do what's in the news on the Jacob Clare channel, but I don't normally do what's in the news on this channel. But I always save it for a live show, and then I do the other news. And if someone pops in, then they do. There's been a lot of news in the news. So anyway, pulmonary illness related to e-cigarette use in Illinois and Wisconsin. This is just a preliminary report. See if we can pull that up. And I'm sorry, they're cookies. I see. Can't do that. All right. Well, very good. There's a lot of this vaping-induced lung injury that's going on. Let me see. Oh, can't do that either. Ooh. Okay. Well, we won't do New England Journal of Medicine. So, survey the epidemic continues to surge unabated. Yes, there you go. So, make that a little bigger for you. So here's the surveys. Surveys slowly being leaked out in regards to the 2019 National Youth Tobacco Survey. Make this a little bigger for you on the screen. So, and it's coming out of that New England Journal of Medicine that I can't pull up. According to the survey findings, which were released earlier this year, well, maybe not. Not really talking about so much about 2019 National Youth Tobacco Survey, so we don't need you either. Whoa, okay. This is interesting. Look at that. Minty carcinogen found in e-cigs. The goal of the study was, make it a little bigger for you, was to conduct a risk analysis for the carcinogen and polygon, I don't know, whatever, contained in mint and menthol flavored e-cigarettes and smokeless tobacco products sold in the U.S. So high levels of a mint oil constituent banned in the U.S. as a food additive were found in sample electronic cigarettes. So it's true. A lot of vapors think, well, it's in food, it's in drink, it's in this, and it's in that. People forget. It's ingested. It's in your stomach. The stomach can handle a lot more than your lungs. When you vape, it's inhalation. It's not like I'm taking when I vape this. It's not like it's going into my into my stomach. It's going into my lungs. Your lungs are much more delicate than your stomach. And so that's that. It says the FDA banned synthetic whatever as a food additive in October 2018 after consumer groups petitioned for the move. The chemical has been linked to cancer in rodent studies. A constituent of oil extracts prepared from mint plants, including peppermint, spearmint, and pennyroyal, is a carcinogen that causes hepatic, I guess, I can't, forget, you see it on the screen. Concerns about the carcinogenic potential of both naturally occurring and synthetic led to the voluntary removal or reduction of the chemical from most conventional cigarettes in the late 1970s, early 80s. He noted that since e-cigarettes continue to be largely unregulated, manufacturers of these smokeless cigarettes have been free to use the substance in their mint and menthol products. So it's good to stay away from this stuff, guys. That's why they're going after mint and menthol as well. So it says the FDA considers a food additive safe for ingestion if its concentration is 10,000 times lower than the concentration shown to be carcinogenic in rats. Researchers define a light user as someone who used 5 ml of e-liquid, smoked a half a pack, and smoked a bone. And then you see the daily. So we're higher. Exposures from the tested e-cigarettes were compared with those typically found in conventional menthol cigarettes. Exposures were higher in all e-cigarette user groups. So there you have to be careful about what you put in your lungs. He added that the threshold for chemical inhalation exposures are typically lower than for oral exposures since the digestive system is better equipped to handle chemical exposures than the lungs. And that's really the key to it all. And even the FDA final rule in regards to vaping of May 10, 2016, the FDA speaks to this as well. We forget all too easily that the digestive system can handle much more chemicals and foodstuffs and drinks and all that other stuff as opposed to your lungs. See? And you say to yourself, well, how about those nicotine replacement therapies coming from Big Pharma that are inhalators? Well, these inhalators are prescribed by doctors. See, it's different. You have to understand. And all the gums and all the lozenges and dissolvables and gels, they are all approved of by the FDA, even though they are over the counter. So this is the problem that we are running into. We don't realize why we are being targeted. We have been regulated since May 10th of 2016, effective date August 8th, 2016. But we were never, none of our products have been approved of or have been accepted by the FDA to be marketed. We have not gone through any of the pre-market tobacco application processes. All of these nicotine replacement therapy products have gone through new drug applications. Everything from inhalators to pills to injectors to the gums to the lozenges to the gels to the sprays, whatever you want to call it, they have all been, every single one of them, ALL, have all been approved by the FDA. And we think we are an exception. We think we are immune to being not only enforced upon, but being immune from having to go through a PMTA. When you're putting this into your lungs, you understand? Or maybe you don't. I don't know. Anyway, that's one thing. Go back there real quick. Anyone watching? Probably not. It doesn't matter. You can watch it on replay. Alstem's threatened to subpoena Juul for marketing docs. Yes, this is a big deal here. I used to belong to, well, not Law 360. I used to belong to LexisNexis, but I don't have that account anymore. That's sort of like it. You need the account. And these guys here, look at this here. These big guys have stopped airing a Juul e-cigarette ads. So in another blow to the vaping industry, CBS Corporation, Warner Media, and Viacom Incorporated reportedly said Wednesday that they will no longer air commercials for electronic cigarettes. And Warner Media networks include TBS and TNT, and Viacom is MTV and Comedy Central. So they won't be airing any more Juul ads, which is good. And they wouldn't. Juul didn't even respond. So it's another little titty. Titty bit. Titty. Tiddy. Whatever that means, I don't know. But I just want to sort of grace through, or skim through all these news articles. This is a great place to go. www.tobacco.org. It's best to come here rather than go to like Vaping 360 and other places like that. When it comes to the law, if they quote law in these articles, then of course you should cross-reference. But outside of that, I mean, this is all the news that's going around, not only in the United States, but around the world. So Kansas man sues e-cigarette maker after getting hooked. A lot of lawsuits. Right now, I think Juul is being sued by 30 individuals / class action suits. They're spending probably about, well, they have in-house lawyers, I'm sure, that they pay on a yearly basis. And then they also probably have lawyers that they have that specialize in certain areas that they hire on a per item basis, on a per project. So, their in-house lawyers are probably paid, collectively speaking, I'm sure it's more than one law firm, probably $100 million a year, probably. And then you have all these other specialty law firms that specialize in certain areas, like especially medical areas, that probably cost the company about another $100 million. So they probably spend about $250 million a year, just a year, to defend themselves with all these lawsuits. It's a serious matter for Juul, serious matter. So they talk about India and everything. I mean, they go through a lot of stuff. Law 360 is very good, but I don't have an account with them. I used to have an account with LexisNexis, which is very much like Law 360. Yeah. So 1 in 9 high school seniors vape nicotine near daily. So that's a lot. That's coming out of that new 2019 National Youth Tobacco Survey. And then in Ohio, I'm sure Vapors TV is happy about this. It says Ohio Governor Mike DeWine is considering a ban on flavored nicotine pods amid a nationwide outbreak of vaping-related respiratory illness. If enacted, the ban would make Ohio the third state in the country after New York and Michigan to halt sales of the controversial product. So they're going after nicotine pods, flavored nicotine pods, not so much e-liquid, but flavored nicotine pods, which is great. I think this is a great idea. I mean, I was using these nicotine pods with 25 and 35 milligrams of nicotine salt, and it screwed me up. I thought it was a common cold. It wound up being from the nicotine salt. And I decided to report that to the FDA. I did that. The e-liquids, the regular e-liquid, is not so bad. It's not so bad. I still get cough, but that's mainly coming from what I had with the nicotine salts. I'm glad they're going to ban nicotine salts in Ohio. I do the UK as well, the India, Danish government. I mean, they do everything here. This is a great place to go. I actually have it bookmarked where the mouse is at, because I go here every day and see what's in the news. The New York Times are reporting TV networks take down Juul and other e-cigarette ads. Yeah, they're all coming in a coordinated effort. I was, the way it played out after Judge Grimm's ruling in regards to the new deadline of May 11, 2020, you could almost think that maybe possibly it's some kind of CIA op. Yeah, that you won't learn of until 20 years later, when it's declassified. But who knows, maybe it could, a lot of people will probably think this is some kind of CIA operation. In a legal theory, anything is possible, but is it probable? Probably not, but it is a possibility that it could very well be a CIA op that was coordinated to bring down the entire vaping industry. Yeah. Incrementally since Judge Grimm's ruling of July 11, 2019. Look what they've done in just a little over 2 months, what they have done. So you could almost say it's a possibility that's a coordinated effort coming out of the CIA. Would it surprise me in 10, 20 years that you learn that it was actually a CIA operation that brought down the entire vaping industry? Would that surprise me? Not at all. These are the things that they do. They're not supposed to do it on domestic land. They're not supposed to do it within America, but of course they have, And I put up videos in regards to that. JFK, Martin Luther King, you name it. The Ultra MK project with the LSD and all this stuff. So they've done all this stuff on Americans or in industries and things of that nature. But it's just a possibility. As far as saying a probability, I'm not going to say it's a probability, only because after Judge Grimm's ruling, and after mainly, it's not even so much even Grimm's ruling, though it was, I had a lot to do with it. It was mainly had to do that the Food and Drug Administration did not appeal Judge Grimm's ruling. And that made all the states and all the health groups very, very secure and comfortable in their positions. And that was the main reason why. As you could see, it wasn't until they had, FDA had up until about the mid part of August of 2019 to make their appeal to the Court of Appeals, and they didn't do that. And that's when all of this mainly came out. Now, as far as illnesses and, respiratory illnesses and things of that nature, you might say, well, that could be possibly a CIA operation. Maybe, I don't know. I've never had any affiliation with the CIA, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I once applied for a job at the CIA many, many years ago, but you had to have a they prefer master's degrees, so I never was able to obtain that job. But anyway, I did that years ago. This was about a little over 10 years ago. I did do that. But of course, it didn't work out. It would have been interesting work for the CIA. They're rather interesting characters, very interesting characters. I think they're more interesting characters than the FBI, actually. But anyway, but to say it's a possibility, yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Is it a probability? Who knows? People might say, well, all these respiratory illnesses, all of a sudden they start hitting the news. Well, you have to put it in perspective. A lot of these respiratory illnesses and stuff have been reported for many years in regards to electronic cigarettes. And especially in the beginning of 2019, they started to they started to see more of these types of respiratory illnesses in hospitals and doctors' visits and things of that nature, your private physicians and stuff like that. And then when Judge Grimm's ruling came out, and then when the Food and Drug Administration did not appeal it, then you got all of this stuff hit the fan, meaning that all those that are in the know that are anti-vaping made it very public, and they keep on pushing it public, more public, more public, more public. And that's really probably the reason why we're in the mess that we're in, rather than having it be a CIA op. Like I said, I wouldn't put it past the CIA, but probably it's not a CIA op. It's just that it's 2 points, and that is Judge Grimm's ruling, and then the FDA did not appeal. And then that's the reason why you wound up with what you have today. That's my take on it. Maybe you guys have a different take on it. I really don't know. I'm going to sort of take a look at if anyone's over here. Let's just see if, I don't know if, probably no one's even watching. I don't know if anyone is anyway. It doesn't matter. Anyway, let me pause that. So, I just want to see. Yeah, it looks all right. Okay. All right, so focus on the effect may have unwelcome public health consequences. I don't know about all that. The recent electronic cigarette flavorings ban pushed by the Trump administration may play a role in reducing the decline in traditional cigarette demand. And I've done videos of this. As far as the adults are concerned, from 1965 to 2007, the rates of tobacco usage, that is combustible cigarettes mainly, have slowly declined. Yes. And from 1976 to 2007, it had little peaks and valleys, but mainly, for the most part, it mainly declined amongst the youth, that is, those that are under the age of 18, as far as combustible cigarettes. And then in 2007, when vaping came along in the U.S. markets and its territories in April of 2007, the rates among the youth and the adults continued to decline. And then in 2017 and 2018, with the 8th and the 10th graders, there was actually an uptick in regards to combustible cigarette usage amongst the youth. And you say to yourself, well, I thought having vaping around in 2017, 2018, you would see no uptick at all, but you wound up seeing an uptick. So does vaping in other words, if you take vaping out of the picture, those combustible cigarette rates would have continued to go down from 2007 amongst the adults and amongst the youth, to the point that even today it would be very much lower than the 2007 levels without vaping. So vaping doesn't really play a huge role as we think it does in regards to those that smoke combustible cigarettes. We have this thing in our head that, look, we're here to save the day. No, you're not. Not at all. Those rates were coming down, and in fact, like I said a moment ago, with the 8th and 10th graders, there was actually an uptick in tobacco usage of combustible cigarettes, and that's with vaping around. So, we have these chips on our shoulder that you shouldn't have. I mean, I love vaping. Don't get me wrong. I vape every day. I wake up in the morning, I vape. I go to sleep, I vape. I vape throughout the day. I love vaping. Don't get me wrong. But I know for a fact that this stuff is not good for me because I'm putting it into my lungs. I know that as a fact. I don't even have to wait for long-term studies to tell me that. I know for a fact that it's doing serious damage to especially to my lungs, to my DNA, to my blood cells, to everything inside of me, physiologically speaking. But I figure I'm 60 years old. Now, let's say if I was 20 years old and I was vaping and all this stuff is coming out, and I learned, in other words, with all the knowledge that I have now, and I was 20 years old with all this knowledge that I have, that I've put up on Jacob Clare, I put up on this channel, whatever channel I've had on YouTube throughout my life or whatever. With all the knowledge that I have in regards to tobacco in general, as well as vapor products, would I vape? No, I would not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. When I first started in April 2011, I didn't have all this knowledge. I didn't really get all this knowledge until I started really getting into the FDA final rule in regards to vaping. So about 2016 to 2019 is when I started to realize, holy crap, this crap is not good for me. Tastes good, but it's bad for me. So if I was 20 years old, with the knowledge that I have, I would absolutely, definitely give up vaping. Absolutely, I'd quit it. If I wanted to get my nicotine, I get it from a gum. I get it from a lozenger. Absolutely. I would not be vaping with the knowledge I have now if I was 20 years old. Now, being I'm 60 years old, it's different. I got another maybe 10, 15 years. How long can I live, But if I was 20 and I had my whole life ahead of me, yes, with the knowledge I have now, absolutely would quit vaping. Absolutely, I would sell all my crap somehow or another, or just give it away. Just give it away. I can't sell it because I turn it into a retailer. But I'd give it all away. I throw it all. In fact, if I had this knowledge back in 2016, I would only have about half of this crap that I have in regards to my vaping experience. So, yeah, absolutely, I would give up vaping. Absolutely. And anyone in their right mind would do so if they were 20 years old. And not just 20. Even if I was 40. If I was 40 years old, I would give up vaping. 50, might give up vaping. 60, don't really care at this age. But at 20, 30, and 40, definitely would give up vaping. Absolutely. Absolutely. Until the vaping industry could prove to me that it's safe to put it into my lungs or put it into my physiological system. 50 is a sort of a, iffy area. 60, like I said, care. And those that are under 20 definitely don't use definitely don't vape. Definitely don't vape. So I put that out there. Not that any of you guys agree to it, but that's the way I figure. So Roseland Council, just a few hours ago. I have 3 remaining of 4. So Borough Council, I don't even know where this is at. Unanimously approved an ordinance banning sales of electronic smoking devices. So all your hardware is gone. At its meeting Tuesday, September 17th. The law prohibits, let me see if I make this a little bigger, prohibits retail sales and service of those devices as well as liquid electronic smoking solutions. Wow, where is this at anyway? Is this New Jersey? No, I know Essex County is New Jersey. Let me see where the heck this is at. Roseland Council. I don't know where that's at. In New Jersey. New Jersey, yeah. So Roseland, you don't want to be living in Roseland because they just banned all products, including hardware. Bye-bye. American Heart Association is dismayed. What? What is going on there? Probably didn't like the fact that he didn't ban menthol. The New York Health Panel Tuesday approved an emergency ban on sales of flavored e-cigarettes, but the American Heart has taken aim at the governor for not including tobacco or menthol flavored e-cigarettes. Definitely menthol. They should have done what Michigan did. Michigan banned everything but tobacco. In New York, you could have menthol and tobacco. They have 2 weeks to remove. A lot of those shops in New York are bye-byes. They could threaten all the lawsuits they like. They could follow the lawsuits they like. They're going to lose. You know, if this stuff came out, 2 years ago, but now it's too late. It's too late now, especially with the May 11th, 2020. With the FDA, it's just around the bend, guys. Then you got a full flavor ban going to come out probably mid-October, possibly early, but I doubt it. What I hear, chatter that I hear is October, about October 15th, around in there, to the end of October of 2019 is when the full flavor ban will come out from the FDA. It's not being watered down. A lot of people think, well, the politicians this, no. Lawsuits this? No, not at all. Not at all. Absolutely not. What mattered was not so much what Trump had stated, but what the Office of Management and Budget did. And they gave the green light to the FDA to have a full flavor ban. So Trump just went along with the OMB. The new ban faces backlash. Well, I'm sure they're going to say, oh, we're going to file lawsuits, we're going to do that, we're going to do that. There has been pushback across state after the public health bump passed the governor's emergency. The ban aims, boom, and the ban boom. So this guy from Salt City Vape, I'm going to sell it and I hope that I can sustain for 90 days because this is 97% of my sales. This is everything. I don't know how I'm going. You know, that's the price of doing business, guys. You go out of business. That's the way it goes. You know, this is capitalism. You know, capitalism, the big fish eat the little fish, you know. That's the price you pay. What they need to do is, if you live in New York, go live in, I don't know, Arizona. If you live in Michigan, live in Arizona. You live in Ohio, live in Arizona. If you live in California, go live in Arizona. Just move out of the state. You're a free country. Well, the drugs do hook, but as far as nicotine replacement therapies, if they're prescribed, the doctor is supposed to put you on a treatment plan, so you slowly diminish your nicotine habit to the point of 0 milligrams. And then as far as over the counter, there's not so much treatment in there, but it is approved of by the FDA. It's the key. See, a lot of these individuals don't understand. Vaping products are not approved by the FDA, guys. They're not approved by them. They have no FDA marketing orders. We are not immune. People think we are immune to FDA marketing orders. No, we are not. Prove to me that this is a safer product for me to use. Huh. Or if you don't do a modified risk claim, at least get this thing on the market. But you have to prove to the FDA that the benefits outweigh the risks. Period. I don't want to hear about Salt City Vape needs to go out of business or go to another state. These people that are whining and whining and whining and whining. So, in New York, beginning on October 7th, the Department of Health will start going to stores to enforce the ban. And I'm sure they have a long list, because in order to have a vape shop, you must have a tobacco license. And all those licenses are registered with the state, of course, the state of New York. So all they have to do is go through the entire registry, and they will just pick them off one by one. And they will go and inspect the store. They won't just go close the store down, but they will go to the store, they inspect it, and in New York, you can only sell tobacco and menthol e-liquid. You have any other e-liquids in there, you're going to be fined. Or even put in prison for that. Not prison, in jail. It's a misdemeanor. But it depends on how many products you are selling. I'm sure they're going to go into your invoices. So let's say October 7th, okay, let's say October 20th, they go into your store. And they look over your invoices and see that you have sold 2,000 cotton candy, bubblegum, pink lemonade vapes, e-liquids. 2,000 of them. That's going to rise to the level of a felony. And then you're going to go to prison. People don't realize that. It's going to be kicked up from the misdemeanor to a felony. Anyway. So that's that. Let's see what else. What else is going on in the news? Let's go down. Boom. Let's open all these tabs up and see what we have. Shan't we? Let's give a second, let it load. Let it load, let it load, let it load. This is mainly has to do with just vaping, these articles. This comes out of vapingpost.com. So what they have to say. Putting it up to date. Oh, I see in India, man, you get prison time. Serious? Those nicotine salts did me wrong, man. I'll never vape. I mean, I'll use my pod systems, but I'm going to put e-liquid into those pod systems. I think 70 VG or 65 VG, 70 VG will be okay in those pod systems. Death blow. So this September 7th, 2019, Trump calls. Well, he did call that already. So thousands of liquid manufacturers are also likely to go under. And a perfect example, hit that juice with Mike Vapes. Bye-bye. It's about time they took his ass under. You should have taken under a long time ago. Of course, he gets his particular e-liquids. Hit that donut line, hit that juice line, hit that cookie line. He gets them manufactured by, and I did a video of this already, by Dynamic something, by some other manufacturing plant. Well, the manufacturing plant's going to have to stop manufacturing these particular e-liquids that he has. I mean, all of them, every single one of them. When the FDA issues their full flavor ban. Now, funny thing is Mike Vapes is in New York, and he can't sell his. And I might just report him to the state of New York. I would love to report Mike Vapes to the state of New York. If I find after October 7, 2019 that he's still selling his hit that juice and hit that cookie and hit that donut line on his own website, he's probably going to get reported by me to the state of New York. He's just too big for his pants. Given the recent news reports, yes. And then also, see, the UK also getting, it's like a watch, wait and see kind of thing. What's going on here in the USA? UK may very well start to, get more stricter with their vaping laws. And then the real story. This is Michael Siegel. The 7th person has died. I think there was a comment by Tommy. He asked me about these THC carts, quartermizers, being sold in states that have legalized marijuana, like Colorado, places like that, Washington State, District of Columbia. It depends. I mean, they have cartridges that can be sold in Colorado, let's say, but it has to be as far as the dry weight is concerned, it has to be a 0.3% THC. So they could sell those cartomizers in Colorado, but they must be 0.3% dry weight basis. So they can do that, yes. It depends on the state you're in. So, for Michael Siegel, and he's like Dr. Forcelinos, he's like the only two these are the only two doctors that that support vaping. It says, all in all, marijuana vaping has been associated with approximately 90% of the cases, although about 10% of cases reported using only nicotine-based e-liquids. So, but what I did a video on the Jacob Clear channel that shows that this guy is really wrong. In fact, he was wrong. He put an article out saying that a Juul pod is not equal to 20 cigarettes, combustible cigarettes. And so I emailed Michael Siegel, and I showed him the video that I did before Juul took that off of their website. Michael Siegel was actually blaming the CDC for this, saying that it was misinformation that was put out by the CDC, that 1 Juul pod equals 20 combustible cigarettes. So when I wrote Michael Siegel, I put a link in there of that video I did, and on the Jacob Clare channel. And he wrote back to me saying that he will watch it or read the material that I gave him and stuff like that, but he never got back to me. It tells me, as far as Michael Siegel is concerned, you got to really, really think twice about this guy. This guy's not all what he's cracked up to be. Why he's so pro-vaping, I have no idea. I don't even think he vapes, but he is pro-vaping. He's so crazy, this boy. I don't even pay much attention to him. I don't care for those that take extremes. Yeah, that take extremes. Either extremely pro-vaping or extremely anti-vaping. I don't care for those individuals. I care for those that are reasonable, that have a middle ground. Like, for instance, there was a comment by Tommy on my Jacob Clare channel, and he stated that was it Tommy? No, maybe it wasn't Tommy. It was Tony. I think it was Tony. It was Tony. I think it was Tommy too, but Tony mainly. Saying that we oughtn't really have to go, the PMTAs are too difficult for vaping devices, especially e-liquids, and that we should be regulated differently. Now, at one time, maybe, if we were not included in that Tobacco Control Act, the Family Smoking Prevention Tobacco Control Act of 2009. But the reality is very simple. We are a part of that Tobacco Control Act. We're deemed as so. So we have that as a fact. That's a fact. We might disagree with the fact, but it is a fact. It is a reality. Like I was saying before, who knows if this e-liquid is really good for you or not? Does the benefits outweigh the risks? Hopefully I pronounced that right. RISKS. That is what a PMTA does. That's all it does. It's that simple. Does the benefits of this particular e-liquid or any e-liquid, does the benefits outweigh the risks? I know I mispronounced that, but you get a little lips, L-I-S-P in that. But you get, in other words, does the good outweigh the bad? But it's mainly benefits versus risks. That's what it comes down to. That's all it is. That's all a PMTA is. We're not talking about modified risk claims. That's a whole different ballgame. Talking about PMTA. Do the benefits in this particular e-liquid or any e-liquid outweigh the risks? Do they? And that's what you have to prove to the FDA. Why are we an exception to the rule? Every single solitary product in the U.S. markets and its territories have been approved one way or another by the state government, but especially by the federal government. Everything. Everything. Even your own house, your apartment complex has housing codes. That the housing code, the house or the apartment or whatever residence it may be, could be a commercial building, needs to be approved of by state inspectors according to certain laws and rules that are on the books. A car, the United States Department of Transportation regulates that, let alone the states as well. Everything. This microphone here is regulated by the Consumer Product Safety Commission. I mean, I could be speaking into this microphone and all of a sudden it blows up, catches fire. So everything is regulated and or mainly and approved of by either the federal government, state government, even sometimes in certain situations, the local government or municipalities. Why are we an exception to that? Why are we different? Now you might say, well, PMTA is too difficult to complete. It might be the case. I don't know. The case is this. If over-the-counter nicotine replacement therapies or drugs can be approved of, and here you have Suck My Mod on Grim Green's live show a couple days ago or so, saying that some person at the Vapor Technology Association conference gave $750,000 to the VTA. $750,000! You could put that through your PMTAs. So apparently these companies, these e-liquid manufacturers have the money. But they rather give it to the VTA to fight the FDA than to put their PMTAs through. And why is that? Why is that? Why is that? And like I said on the Jacob Clare channel, let's say this much, I think it was part 11. I truly believe, this is what I believe, maybe you don't believe it, but I truly believe that the e-liquid manufacturers believe or know that the benefits do not outweigh the risks. There's a lot of risk in this. Yes, absolutely. And that's the reason why they're fighting the PMTAs as much as they can. Because they know that this is not good for you. They know it. And that's why they're fighting it. Or else they would take the millions of dollars that they have and put it to the PMTAs. If it's so good for you, why not just go right through the PMTA process and get approved of by the FDA and market your product? But they will do everything and anything possible to stall that particular process from happening. It's going to happen. But in their heads, because they've been told by the VTA, SAFADA, you name it, whoever, that just bear with us, just keep giving us your money, we're going to stop this from happening. And that's what's going on. So when I was saying, there are extremes, extreme pro-vaping, extreme anti-vaping, I'd rather have it right in the middle, where you say, look, you get these particular products, you get these mods approved or accepted by the FDA through PMTA process, get your FDA marketing orders, put them on the U.S. markets territories, and then you can even export them around the world if you like. Once you get these products approved of by the FDA, then you will know that the benefits do outweigh the risks. That is not too much to ask for. That is reasonable. That's reasonable. But maybe, probably, the vaping industry knows that this stuff is not good for us. And that's the reason why they're stalling this PMTA process. All the flavorings that are in here, and the nicotine and the VG and the PG, when it all blends together, it all mixes together. And it's not just a vanilla, and it's not just a chocolate. What happens when a vanilla and a chocolate is combined together? what other chemicals are given off in that process. You won't know until you go through the whole entire PMTA process. Then you'll know. Anyway, enough of my rant there. That is not available. I don't know. I'm going to move it over here again. See, I got maybe one person watching. Oh, Evil. How you doing, man? Okay. Hopefully you don't mind that being shown. Yeah, I started, I don't know, about an hour ago. Said once the stock is going, he's done. Well, that's good about Mike. That's good. That's very good about Mike. That's good to see. Said him, and then a company that mixes juice fell out. I see. Well, that's good that they fell out. Yeah, that cough is still here. Unfortunately, those nicotine salts nailed me. One for you if you've ever vaped. Oh, yeah, I've vaped on copper RDAs. I have copper RDAs, and they say actually. Lately, I haven't, and they're older. They're much older copper RDAs. I mean, they're 22 millimeter RDAs. I don't have any copper RDAs that are 24 millimeter. But those copper RDAs, like these things here, these are old. These are quite old. Let me actually come out of this a little bit here. Let's see if I can do this a little better here. Let's just see if that is working. 1 second here. Make sure I have. Okay. So you can see a little better. But these are old 22 millimeter copper RDAs. These are old. I don't even use them. I don't even know if I can build on these anymore. I'm so used to doing 24 millimeters. You don't have the space. I mean, I could build on them, but I have many of them. I don't know. I got about 15 of these copper RDAs. But what I've heard with copper RDAs is that it gives off certain chemicals. The reaction to the heat with copper is not really good for you. So, I don't know. I haven't vaped on them in so long. The chemical processes of copper is not good for you to inhale. But yeah, these are old. I don't even know what these things are called. I got so many of them. But yeah, the old, remember the old 510 drip tip? I thought these were really cool at one time, but you wouldn't find me vaping on this, It's crazy, yeah. Anyway, there's the old days, Yeah, definitely old school. Yeah, well, the thing is, it's called a patina. Say patina, like here, I'll show you. Like this here, I'll give you a perfect example. Here's a perfect example of what happens to copper when they patina. Like on this rig mod, it's an old copper rig mod. I like this one. I used it at one time. I don't use it anymore. But this one is patinaed. This is I think it's the King's Crest. King's Crest, I'm not sure anyway. But this is seriously patinaed. Look at this thing here. Now, there's a way to get this off of here to get it like this again. And the best place to go, and you have to go back into his old videos, is Big Lou East Coast Review. He's done a couple videos of how to clean your copper mods, or any mod for that matter. And he'll show you how to get that patina right off there. There's a certain, I know a heavy metal vapor, he uses, what did he, I can't remember if it's ketchup. I think it's ketchup with Tabasco sauce. I think it's ketchup. He actually polishes his mods with ketchup. I think it's ketchup. because it's that citric acid that's in there that will bring it back to the original copper. But yeah, there's something in the probably something in the copper that is making your cotton seriously nasty, unless your e-liquids is heavily sweetened. If it has a lot of sweetener in there, you'll wind up having extremely dirty cotton. But I'm sure the copper, I never really thought of it, but I'm sure the copper RDA certainly may very well make it dirty. I could certainly understand, because look at this mod, how patinaed up it is, and probably you put enough heat on this, you know. I don't even build on 3-pulse designs. Look at how small those little things are. They're like a 0.5 millimeter in diameter, those holes. It's so crazy. Can't even see it on camera. But I'm sure that the inside of the barrel definitely gives off some kind of heat, of course, and then it gives off some other chemical that probably makes your cotton dirty. I never really looked at when I vaped these old style RDAs, when I vape these guys, and I have all these RDAs on my Jacob Clare channel. You have to go back a ways into the files, into the videos, but that I do the reviews on them. I would imagine, yeah, that some kind of chemical reaction is making possibly your cotton dirty. I never really paid attention if my cotton was dirty because of the copper when I vaped the old RDAs. Yeah. So I have a couple, like this guy here. These guys. Not here. That's old. That's brass. Yeah, these are. I used to really be heavily into Doge, DOGE, heavily into the Doge. They were my favorite. I have them in I have them in blue and white and red. Yeah, it could very well be. But I never paid attention before, as far as when I vaped these copper RDAs. I never really paid much attention to the cotton when I vaped them. I always thought that it was because of the sweetener that was in the e-liquids that was vaping. And I have found that, unfortunately, like Beard Vape Company, I don't know if they changed their formula or not, but I remember when I started vaping Beard Vape Company, I think it was like back in 2014 or so, my cotton didn't get as dirty, but now, holy crap, just gunks up real easily. And I love Beard Vape Company, but I think they're putting way too much sweetener in there. I don't know if they changed their formula or what, but it's always gunks up real bad, Yeah, the Doge are pretty cool. The Doge. Yeah, they were the days. I like these old things, I don't know if I could build on them now, though. They're 22 millimeter. I have one that's real small. This fucking thing here. Look at this fucking thing here. This goes back. This is my very first RDA that I bought. I bought it back in, I believe it was 2013. 2013 or the latter part of 2012. I don't know if it's only 18 millimeter. A little Trident, not the version 2. It's the version 1. Well, they didn't even call it version 1. It was just it was called the Trident. This is a. I remember when I first built my first build on this. It took me about, I don't know, like 4 builds or so to finally get it right. It's so small. The holes are so small. But when I did it, even though these holes are so small and it's just a very small drip tip, it was such a great vape when I first did it. You know, it's so cool. You know. Yeah, exactly. I mean, for its day, it was a great flavor vape. Yeah, you would never, you know. And then like this little guy, I don't even think I built on this thing. I just picked it up years ago on Fast Tech. I never used it. Piece of crap, you know. Look at this thing here. Look how small that is. I don't even know what the diameter is. It's probably like 12. It's crazy. I never built on it. I don't even know what it. Look at this thing. It's crazy looking. I mean, you could build on it. I mean, you know, the funny thing, I used to always clean all my stuff. I used to clean it all. But now I don't even do that anymore. Especially my fully mechanical box mods. I used to clean them. Yeah, that's a little tiny thing. Look at that. Holy crap. I don't even know if I could do this in the camera. How small that is. I don't know what the diameter on that is. It's probably like 12, 15 or somewhere in there. Anyway, they were the days years ago. Yeah, I mean, Typhoon. Yeah, I never had that. Yeah, never had that one. G24. Yeah, yeah, it's been such a long time. All this stuff. You know, the funny thing is you can't sell any of this, you know, stuff. You know, like Jay Hayes has this thing in his head that he'll have all his high-end mods, and someday, you know, there'll be collector's items and they'll sell them. I mean, he could sell them illegally, but he can't sell these products. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this stuff, you know. Maybe eventually just give it away. But yeah, I would check out the... like if you want to clean any of this copper stuff, check out Big Lou East Coast Review. As far as the cotton get nasty, that's kind of weird. I never really paid attention to my copper RDAs when I vaped. I always thought it was sweetener. I never really attributed it to copper, but it could very well be the case. Absolutely. So anyway. So yeah, I mean, I sporadically go live, you know, and then it only lasts about an hour or two, and then, you know, I go and then to watch the replay. But it's good that you're sort of part of this little group I have here. Okay, I mean, I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely do a little build, and take a look at it, see how it changes. And what I'll do is I'll use a e-liquid that I know that will not that does not have a lot of sweetener in it, and so I, because I know certain e-liquids will you know, gunk it up because of the sweetener, but I have not a lot. Unfortunately, I have a lot of e-liquids over there with a lot of sweetener in there, but Not a lot, but enough. But there, like on this beard vape here. Like on this one here, it's a strawberry cream vape. I hardly vape it. I don't like strawberry. A lot of people like strawberry. I don't care for it. But it's not very, it's not, it's clear. So it won't gunk up my coil so much. I mean, my cotton. So I'll use this, and then I'll build on one of these RDAs, and then I'll let you know. If I don't let you know over here on this channel, I'll let you know on the Jacob Clare channel. This was a really badass. Yeah, I like this one here. There was the Tobe version 2. Wow, look at that, 2014. Holy crap. That's so long time ago. On this little guy here. Wow. It's like a decade ago. Feels like a decade. But anyway, I'll do that. And I'll let you know. I'll build that. I'll build it tonight, and I'll let you know. I'll vape on it. Give me about a day. I'll let you know sometime tomorrow night what I think and what happens to the cotton. Yeah. Normally, I get I like the gold RDAs, even though like Jay Hayes and those guys are like, oh, that's too weird looking. But yeah, the troll. I have the troll. Yeah. Where the hell is that at? The troll. I think I have the troll here. Yeah, the troll. That was a great, RDA when it came out. The troll, yeah, by what is that, Wotofo or whatever? Got in blue. I don't know why I got in blue, but yeah, that was a badass little RDA. In its day, this was a really nice RDA. God, I can't even get the damn thing off there. Yeah, that was really cool. That in its day, that was a great RDA. I really liked vaping on that. I haven't built on that for. See, that's the thing with these old RDAs is that if you don't, I used to, like I said, but I don't do them anymore. But when I used to do them. Years ago, I used to clean them all the time, and because your screws and everything you get, fixed in there. Yeah, I got the Cherry Bomber. I have a Cherry Bomber, but unfortunately, it's a clone. And a funny thing happened when I bought it. Where did I buy it from? I think it was Mad Vapes. I can't remember who. I think it was Mad Vapes. Don't hold me to it. It wasn't Mad Vapes. I think it was Mad Vapes. It was the high end guys, okay? They're really high end. Like Beyond Vape, Mad Vapes, something like that. And when I bought it, I really had thought that I bought the authentic. And it really wound up being a clone, unfortunately. Yeah. Cherry Bomber. Yeah, it wound up being a clone, and even though it worked quite well, it still was unfortunately a clone. But there's a little thing here. Well, it was badass in its day. God, I haven't cleaned it, so look how dirty that is. Holy crap! I used to take it all apart, and get. Oh man, it's crazy how I used to do it. I don't know if I could open this up anymore. Probably fixed in there too well. God, it's been so long. Well, I used to take that nut out of there, with the 510. I used to take that out, and I used to, somehow or another, I used to do it. I can't believe it to this day, but I used to take the button out and clean it and everything. I don't even think. But yeah, it wound up being a clone. I paid a lot of money for it too. It was like $150. That's when I used to buy high-end stuff, thinking that I bought it high-end, but it wound up being a clone. Yeah. Anyway, that was that. But I mean, I should have known, because I think the price of the authentic was something like $300, $290. So I should have known, but apparently I did not know. How I found out was one of my subscribers pointed that out to me and said, "No, man, you got a knockoff." I was like, "Oh shit." So, but that review is up on the on my Jacob Clare channel. Yeah, see, 300. Yeah, I thought it was like 290. Yeah, see, I should have known. Yeah, back in its day. Yeah. Oh well, live and learn. I mean, it still works. I mean, it still worked like the authentic, but I'm sure, who knows what this copper, the button in there, that's copper. Who knows how copper that is? It might just be plated copper. I've had two mech mods. Like, I'll show you a perfect example. It was one of my favorite. Was one of my favorite two mech mods, but it's a clone. This is a perfect example. When it's not it's inferior metals. Okay, because that's really the difference between a clone and authentic, is that the authentic will be a copper tube. But like this is the, what is this, the American Vape, but it's more of a clone. It's a clone, but I don't know if you could see that, but see, the copper is actually chipping off of the tube mech mod. It's actually chipping off of it throughout the whole thing. And it's just some kind of regular metal underneath it. And that's not really real copper. And that's how, yeah, that's crazy, right? That's how, even though it looks like inside, I don't know how well you could see that. Inside, it looks a little bit more coppery, but it's really just a regular, probably stainless steel metal pipe that they put some kind of copper plating on, because it's literally coming off. I mean, it's like, if I cleaned it, I mean, it's chipped. It's chipped off. I don't know. I'm sure you can't see it that well in here. Let's see if you can see it. It's chipped off, right off the mod, And that's the difference between a clone as opposed to an authentic. Authentic, it's going to be copper all the way through. I mean, it operates pretty much like the authentic, but it's not authentic materials mainly. Yeah, I think I got this from. No, it wasn't. The funny thing, this wasn't Fastec. I got it from 88 E-Vape. It used to be a great little place I used to go to online called 88 E-Vape. 88 E-Vape. and I would say probably 80% of their stock was all clones. Okay, hey, you remember them? Okay, and unfortunately, as soon as the May 10th of 2016 FDA final rule came out, they closed down. They closed down right away. It's crazy. They got scared off quickly. I mean, they went right out of business. But that was a nice little place where I would say about 80% of the stuff they sold was clones, and that was a very reliable place to buy the clones, and that's where I got this particular clone at. Yeah, I bought a lot of clones from them because a lot of their clones were very well made. Unfortunately, this is not a copper tube. It's some kind of regular metal with a copper plating. Of course, he didn't find that out until, about 2 years later when it's starting to chip off. Still operates fine. Still has a nice operation to it. I have to clean it. But yeah, that's the difference. That's the difference between authentic and the real deal. Yeah, they had a USA warehouse. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I like the 8080 vape. Not very many people were aware of them, but that was a good place for if you want to buy a pretty good clone. I mean, I bought some clones from like Fastech, but I will never buy a regulated device from any Chinese company over there because you never know what's going to break down. If I buy something regulated, it'll be in the States. Yeah, it's true. Clones do have a very bad name now, but back in the day, I mean, everyone started with clones, even Jay Hayes. In fact, if you go to his very earlier videos, some of his very beginning of his videos, his first videos he put up, he just sold. He sold just a slew of clones. I mean, they all were into clones at one time, and then they, eventually were able to, make money on YouTube and buy the authentics. I think the only channel that really never was into clones from the very beginning was Matty Ice, was the Convicted Vapes channel. I think that was like the only one. I can't remember him ever having a clone on his YouTube channel. I don't know whatever happened to Matty Ice. I'm sure he went to prison. I don't know how long for. He just disappeared from sight. He wasn't there before, and he probably went back. Yeah, Vape Life. Yeah, the old ones, like the ones that he would. I think he sat in his living room, or he sat on his porch, or whatever. Or even the ones that the old ones in his vape shop when he would do the reviews. It's not like they are now. It's a lot different. You didn't have the motorcycle and all the bottles and everything laying around. He was just he was like sitting in a chair behind a table. That's all he was doing. I didn't know you went back that far. I thought you were somewhat of a newbie vapor, but you've been around much longer. Yeah. That's pretty cool. My very first YouTube channel was Indoor Smokers. And then, I see. I could tell by what you're writing. And my first YouTube channel was Indoor Smokers, and then I started reading about rebuilding. I didn't get into rebuilding until several months later, and then I came across Rip Trippers, and his older videos, he did a lot of RDAs. He did a lot of RDA builds, and I started getting into that. And he's the one who turned me on to RDA building. He's the one who got me to build on RDAs. And then everything else is history there. Exactly. When he was up in his attic, he would be in his attic with the. In fact, when he very first started, I remember him. If I remember right, he was like sitting before his, sitting at a table or the computer, and his bed was right next to him. You know, it was like I said, like in his he was like in his bedroom, I think, if I remember right. But it was mainly when he really started to take off was when he was at some table. But when he really started taking off was when he did it in his attic. Yeah, when he did it in his attic is when he started to take off. I mean, he started knowing his crap. I mean, Rip Trippers knows his he knows all about building. He knows all about, like I say, old school. I mean, he knows all that. But he's made a serious living off of vaping. So not only off of YouTube when you could really make money, but off of his vape trick. I had his vape trick juice once. I did not like it though. I did not like his e-liquid. But I mean, I can't remember what I bought, but I never liked it. Well, I never started with Grim Green. I never watched Grim Green. I didn't learn of Grim Green till many years later. Yeah, I do too. I mean, Rip Trippers definitely does love vaping. He's definitely into vaping. You could tell by his old videos. Um, Even indoor smokers, but really Rip Trippers. But he's just he's more into. He commercialized everything, so everything's you know. If it's no money to be made, he's not going to be around. It's just that way he is. You know. Yeah, I never got into Grim Grin. I never got into what's the other one? Oh yeah, I never really got into Vaping Greek or Peep Risotto until many years later. Like I didn't get into them till like about 2014 or so. I didn't really, even though they've been around for so long, I never really got into them. I remember watching Peep Risotto doing a review. Oh, I can't remember what the heck it was. It was some kind of electronic vaping device. I can't remember what it was, but that's when I started watching him. But yeah. Anyway, the old days. And then even though I critique a lot in regards to vaping and stuff like that, especially with the FDA and all. You and I, we've been around for so long that we're going to continue to vape one way or another anyway. Had to change out the batteries. These are really cool batteries, these things here. I just got these 3000 mAh batteries by Samsung. They're really good batteries. I like these. They last forever. Usually you always have the 25 hours. I have like 30 of them over there. 25 of them. Well, these are really good ones. I'm going to get some more of these pink ones. These are really good batteries. The Q, that's right. That's what they're called, the Q. Yeah, they're good, really good batteries. I like them. I love anything by Samsung. I have some Sonys, but I don't normally use them. Oh, you do? Okay, great. Yeah, it lasts forever. Yeah, I put them in the regulated mode. But anyway. Yeah, like I said, one way or another we'll always be around, Oh, the blue ones? I It's funny. The 25 ores, I use them in my mix, and I have no problem, as long as I don't build too low. You know, I mean, if I build too low, like normally I won't build lower than like a maybe a 0.08 in a true mech mod. But when those Samsungs, you're really looking for trouble. Normally I like to stay around like that, maybe a 0.15 or 0.2 with those Samsung 25 ores. But yeah, you're all right. I mean, and they're fine. Like if you have like a fully mechanical box mod, and you have like two 25 ores in them, then it's okay. You know, as long as it's running, parallel. You know, I have the Noisy Cricket. I have the original Noisy Cricket. I have the review on the Jacob Clare channel, and I tell you, I mean, I did the review and I never used it again, but I took a chance and I had the 25 ore Samsungs in there and it worked, but of course I didn't build very low. I think I was like a 0.41, because that's a serious mod. I mean, that was a crazy mod. That was fucking insane. The Noisy Cricket. Yeah, the old Noisy Cricket. I love the Noisy Cricket, but I liked it when I did the review, and that was it. Very, very, very dangerous mod. It runs in series, and it's a hybrid. You're looking for serious trouble with this mod. But as long as you don't build too low, like as long as your build is around like a 0.4, you're okay. I think there was a video I watched once where someone actually had a build on here. It was like a 0.22 or some weird thing. They're lucky they didn't blow up. But that was extremely. It's funny, you know, if anything needs to come off the market, you would think the FDA would target this particular mod. But you never hear at all from the FDA in regards to this mod. This is like one of the most dangerous mods ever to hit the markets. And yet, also the funny thing, you never heard anyone ever have this thing explode. Of course, the person probably would not be alive to tell you about it. But it's funny how no one's really ever been injured by the Noisy Cricket. I never heard anyone. Maybe somebody had, but yeah, super high builds. Yeah. It has to be that 0.4 and over, because you'll kill yourself on this Noisy Cricket. It's definitely a Noisy Cricket. Definitely lives up to its name. Yeah, that's the thing. Probably. The word got out that this is really for advanced builders or advanced vapors. It's just something you don't want to mess with. Very dangerous. I think it's like probably the top 5 most dangerous vape devices in the world. I mean, J-Bo knew what he was doing when he put it together. But, yeah. Highly dangerous. And they sell them real cheap now. You can buy an authentic for like $10. Yeah. Anyway. I'm too much of a lazy vapor now anyway. I everything's pre-coiled, you know. I don't wrap my wires anymore, you know. As everything, you know, it's just you get lazy as a vapor after a while. Well, anyway, so all this stuff, but yeah, I'll definitely do an RDA. I put in my rig. Haven't used a rig for a long time. Of course, that's a 24 millimeter. Thing is, not these are old RDAs are definitely not hybrid safe. I think that'd be a good, somewhat of a good setup. So probably be on this that I do the build on. This little copper Doge that I will do the. I'll put it together on here. I'll probably put it on a regulated device though, but I'll do that. Instagram, you know, I never hang at Instagram. Instagram, I hardly ever go over there. Once in a blue moon. Oh, is that right? So you make art that people can vape? I see. You mean like, what do you mean by that? I make art people can vape. You mean as far as your bills are concerned? Oh, I see. I got you. So you do those really fancy coils, like if you put like coils, like let me see here. Like I'm fascinated by by vape coils. You know, some of these things are so exotic. See if I can bring that up. Like this stuff here, like, let me see here. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's not working. I have to get used to it. This is XSplit, so I have to get used to it. Oh. Wait. Ah, that's not working. Anyway, here I am. Doesn't matter. Anyway, look at those. These are some wild coils. Stuff that I could never build. I mean, I tried Rip Trippers. I remember the very first coil I tried to do that was a little exotic that he built was I believe it was called this stovetop. And I tried to build that and failed at it. So I never build these really fancy coils, but some of these people, man, they're just extraordinary, you know. Aren't many builds on this page. But that's what you mainly do, huh? You do the exotic. Let me see here. Like this stuff here, like that. Holy crap, look at that. Look at this here, all these. I mean, you have to learn how to do all that. You have to have a really good drill to do all that. You gotta really know what you're doing. All that crap. Now, the ones that are put out by China is made with machines, but you know, you guys that do it with hand drills are just, you guys fascinate me. All that fancy stuff, like that. Anyway, so let me switch that up. Yeah, fascinating. Oh, you can't draw. Yeah, you have my, my Gmail account, whenever you feel. I see. Yeah, I mean, he did some really interesting coils, Rip in his day. Yeah, that's the thing. China, they're all made by machine, you know. They spit them out. Unless they have 10,000 workers doing them all, but they're inferior metals, you know. That's the other thing. Like I have, I used to buy Yeti's uncle. Let me see if I have some of them. Trying to find my Yeti's uncle. Used to have. So I put all my wires in these things here. You know, I got so many damn wires, but they're all, you know, not a lot of them are really the greatest wires. Though they have, you know, all kinds of different. I did a video of this once showing what I have. But I used to have Yeti's uncle's wires. I know I have still some of his left. He does a really nice. Here. No, that's. He has pretty nice wires that he does. Where I put him at? Here somewhere. I know I have them. Where I put them at? Oh, there. Yeah, these are Yeti's uncle's wires. I used to have a lot of them, but I've used them, and I only save these because I don't use them because maybe special occasion. But like he puts these, they come in little packets, you know. I don't know if he's still wrapping them now, you know. But like this one's alien. I love alien wires, and this is staggered. You know, you can't see it at all. No, you can't. I'm sure you can't see it. It's just doesn't really, not the greatest camera for close-ups. But anyway, but that's it. Yeti's uncle's pretty reasonable. You get 2 wires for like $10. Not too bad. KB wire. Yeah. See, I don't know. That's above my quote-unquote pay grade. I don't. When you get into KB wires, and you know, I don't know what that really is. So, but I'm sure it's a much better wire than what China uses. Yeah, Fuse Clapton. I never really. Yeah, Fuse Clapton's alright. I love my aliens. I love alien wires. Yeah, I don't know what KB wire is. What's a KB wire? What is that like? Is that just a more of a high grade stainless steel or a Canthal? Wow, nice dry hit. A little formaldehyde on that vape. Is that a Florida? I see. Yeah, the wires that I have are like I don't even use the wire anymore. Like I say, I'm too lazy of a vapor. I used to buy a lot of its stuff from like lightning vapes, you know. Back, this is years ago. Like this is nickel. This one. You know. I bought I believe it was a 18 gauge. I don't even know where I have that at. I don't know where I put that at. But I once bought a 18 gauge wire, and I could not bend it at all, so I I never used it. It's so thick, that wire. But I don't know, like lightning vapes, I don't know if they have, if you know, if they're called, you know, KB wire or not, where they get the wire from. I don't know that at all. It could be inferior. We used to always go to lightning vapes. I haven't gone to them in years. So, it's good wire? Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, when I used to rap, I used to use only their wire. but I don't wrap anymore. I love stainless steel. That's my favorite wire. And then I like Nichrome 80 as well. That's a nice wire. Then Kanthal. But stainless steel is my favorite, actually. So, yeah. That's good to know. Lightning Vapes is a good wire. What you're vaping on right now? What's the e-liquid and hardware you're vaping on? Letting the hair grow out. I tell you. Put it in a ponytail when I go to work. Clean and straight. That's good. That's good to know because I have several spools of wire from Lightning Vapes. I figured someday when I run out of my pre-coils, which probably have over 100 of them, maybe more than that, then I'll go back to the old school wrapping of the wires. Just lazy is all. Turns into a lazy vapor. Swag sauce. Yeah, I've had swag sauce. It's not too bad. And Minikin 3. I never got the Minikin 3. I heard that's a great mod. Yeah, I never had the Minikin 3. They have a Minikin 1.5 out there, don't they? And I was thinking of getting that, but I'm not buying these mods anymore. It's a great mod, yeah. Minikin 3. I think Jay Hayes gave that like almost like a 10-star rating. I mean, Jay Hayes is Jay Hayes, but when it comes to his reviews, I'll never knock his reviews, or anyone's reviews for that matter. American version 2, I see. Because they're really precise, aren't they? I mean, they're not only their temperature control, but also their regular wattage system. They're very precise, is what I hear. It's like the Lost Vape Therian. I have that one. Yeah, they're on point. See, so yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah. Yeah, I bought. Well, I got it for a Christmas present, but this. About a couple Christmases ago, for my wife bought the Lost Vape Therian, which is a very beautiful mod, but I never use it because I'm always afraid that I'll ruin it, But this is a beautiful mod. They say this is very precise. It's the 75C. It's a beautiful mod. Well, but this is very precise, like the Minikin 3 and 2 and 1.5. So you do temperature control a lot. Yeah, when I was deathly sick, I couldn't, I was coughing. I still cough up a little phlegm here and there. But after about 4 days of this quote unquote, I don't know what you want to call it. I thought it was a common cold, but it was due to my nicotine salts. After about 4 days, I went to temperature control because you could vape that and it's much easier on the throat than, regular wattage, Kanthal and stuff like that. So I went to the temperature control. I like temperature control. A lot of people don't like temperature control, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. I mean, it's not a cool vape, but it's not as it's just a warm vape rather than a hot vape. You know. Yeah. A lot of people don't like temp control, but I think Mike Vapes also likes that Minikin 3. He's a great reviewer. I loved. I'll say that much about Mike. I'll never take that from Mike Vapes. As far as him being a reviewer of vape mods or RDAs or whatever, he is. In fact, if I had to if I had to make the ultimate choice of watching either Mike Vapes or Jay Hayes, I would actually pick Mike Vapes. I like Mike Vapes reviews much better than I do Jay Hayes. Not knocking on Jay Hayes too much there, but it's just the way he does things. You know, he's just to the point, and it's very short videos, and then it's over. Oh, that's good. Peanut butter pie. I love anything peanut butter, and pie is even better. Broadside Admiral. Yeah, I never got the broadside. Not that I know of. I don't think I did. And if I did, it was a clone. I think I did get the broadside, but it was a clone. I didn't get the original one. And the Colvin RDA. Wow, I never even heard of that one. That is wild. I'm going to take a look, take a peek. I never ever heard of that RDA. Ain't that wild? Huh. Oh, so the Colvin RDA is by Broadside. I never ever heard of that one. Two post, I see. That looks pretty nice, though. That's a nice RDA, though. You could get some fat coils in those holes there. That copper one is really nice. Wow, that looks nice. That copper one's nice. Do you have that problem on the copper RDA and the Colvin as far as your e-liquids are concerned? Do they get dirty on that? I like that silver one's nice too. I've been getting really into this silver. Certain words, man, it's so bad. Silver RDAs, they're really cool. Just plain. Just so plain. So you do get the cotton buildup even on the that Colvin RDA. Ain't that something? Well, I'm definitely going to build on that on this Doge one. It's an old 22 millimeter, but I'm going to build on it. I'm going to see if that really has, if I run into that problem. I mean, I always attributed it to the sweetener in the e-liquid, but I never really thought in terms of it because it's copper. But I'm going to use this e-liquid, which is very clear, so I should be all right. Not that that's always a good sign. I mean, you could have clear e-liquid and still have a lot of sweetener. But I will definitely try that tonight. Definitely do that. See if that's the problem. Well, no, I mean, the only other reason why is that it could be, the sweetener in the e-liquid. I mean, peanut butter pie is, unless you're using, like a toasted marshmallow in there or something, it's probably has sweetener in there. Even if it's, extremely, low percentage. So who knows? But I'll try it out. Never really, thought about it before. when I used to vape those RDAs. So old. God dang. There was so many 3-post design RDAs in back in its day. It's amazing. Yeah. The Troll. I used to love the Troll. I thought there were the Troll and the what was the other one? What was the other one? The Troll. There's another one too. That was a really good RDA that had. Oh, the one with the velocity deck. That was really, that was like the coolest deck in the world until the drop came along. Yeah, well, I'm gonna check that out. I'll definitely check out and see about the if it has to do with the copper. Is there anything to do with the copper? Oh, the turbo RDA. Isn't that little thing that has a fan inside of it and it sort of turns? That's an old RDA. I think it has like a fan or something in there. I know there were RDAs back in the day when they have these little either a Delrin or a plastic fan that would turn. I never bought them. I always thought them. Yeah, is that one? Yeah. I don't know. To me, it was a little bit too gimmicky, so I never bought it. I don't. I think it's more to do with the angle of the airflows more than anything. As far as how the air is, like Spanky's hat, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's probably a lot to do with the airflow, how it comes in, rather than how the airflow comes in. It's mainly has to do, I think, with the airflow holes more than anything else. Like this drop RDA thing here. I mean, I always leave all the holes open, but I mean, this is a great RDA because when you build on it, oh man, that's dirty. I need to clean my coils. Look at how dirty those coils are. It's gunked up and the cottons are bad. But anyway, when I leave it open, it shoots right through that hole there, like, it just shoots through and comes out the other way. It's just a really great RDA. I probably use it like 98% of the time. I mean, if I had to get rid of all my RDAs and just have my drop RDA, I'd be satisfied for the rest of my life. It definitely lives up to its hype. I mean, I love the drop RDA. I don't care for Brian. I think he's a real a-hole. As not only as a person, but as a person that tries to advocate. But as far as his creating and designing of products, I mean, he really knows his stuff. Yeah, chamber air ratio. There you go. Yeah, that has to me, it probably has more to do with it than anything. Yeah, like that one guy. I was following him, then I stopped. He's out of Iceland or Greenland. Morten, Morten or something like that. Oh, what's his name? Let me see if I can bring that up. He did an RD. He was really into. He was seriously into. Oh, what was his name? See if I'll find him. Yeah, Martin. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. It's Oen. It's Morten, and his last name is Oen. I used to subscribe to him, and he used to have all these videos of how the airflows work. And then he created and designed this, man, he created and designed this RDA, and he went live with Jay Hayes and a couple other people also, and they all pounced on him that he didn't put out he came out with RDA mod, and they all pounced on him that his airflow was real bad. The way you build it, his airflow was not cracked up to be what it was supposed to be, and it never. So I still got that in my chest here, that phlegm. It never really took off, because they all pounced on him. But he was supposed to be into all this airflow thing, He would talk about it all the time. He would go into his videos. He made some good points on a lot of his airflows and stuff, but the RDA that he designed didn't turn out as well in practicality as it was in his own head, Yeah, I can't remember what that thing was called. His RDA. What was that called? The RDA. Yeah, the Njord. Adam Vapes NJORD. And it didn't really take off as well as he thought it would. Even with all his airflow and coil. Like he has this one thing. Airflow and coil placement in RDA. So yeah. Oh well. And then he put another RDA out, the ZATHOG, something like that. I never bought any of his stuff. I always liked watching him because the way he would talk was so soothing and so relaxing that it was very easy to listen to him just speak. Regardless if he was saying anything that was legitimate or not, it was just so soothing. I would almost like put him in the background, listen to him in the background, and do whatever I'm doing on the other monitor. Yeah, the mod. Yeah. Oh, I can't remember the mod he did. Yeah, all his projects sort of all fell apart. Yeah, he was like doing these experimental mods. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I remember that one video he did. Yeah, there it is. The OEN DIY Mech Squonker. 21700 with voltmeter. Yeah, I remember watching that. Yeah. This is several months ago. Yeah. Yeah, he was a strange fella, but the thing is, none of his stuff really worked out in practicality. Stuff he designed, Yeah, exactly. Everything on the show always worked, but then that mod, that's right. Everything on his, it was more, I think it was more theory than anything else, He got caught up in his little experiments and stuff, It was mainly theory. The audience, including myself, was more caught up in the theory of it rather than the practicality of it, who knows if that really worked or not, you know? So. In other words, it was more like a magic act more than anything else, you know? But yeah, it's, oh well. So, I don't know if I should cut this live feed or what here. It's about almost a couple hours now. Always watch the beginning of it on replay, you know. You know. I vape on my Therion before I cut the feed. Normally don't vape on the Therion. See if I could get this doggy to rock and roll here. That's the only thing I hate about the Therion is the batteries. To get the batteries in there is a pain in the ass. Very difficult to get the batteries in there. You know? So yeah, they're very difficult. And the only thing I like about their mod is how the batteries are. You know, it's very difficult. Man, it's a pain in the ass to do. And you could, you know, you strip your batteries when you do it. There you go. God. You can strip the heck out of your batteries. It's the first battery that goes in that's really difficult to do. It's a nice mod, though. Yeah, it's good talking with you there, Evil. Fathwell. Was great. Enjoyed it. Exchanged a lot of ideas, brought back the old days. The old days of old. 9 watts. I haven't used this in years. Couple years. 70 would be alright. I know you can't see that very well, but this is such a beautiful mod, this Lost Vape Therion. Drone and battery wraps, yeah, from Fastech. Yeah, that's definitely what they're worth. I mean, Fastech is definitely worth buying wraps from, you know. At least you know they're, you know, you can't go wrong there, in other words. Yeah, it's always good to have battery wraps, man. I have a lot of them too, you know. I see. Like the different colors, designs, or what, like for 2700s or whatever. Yeah, those very beautiful. Streaming this, man. It's a while ago we started streaming this. I think I started streaming around like 12:30, 1 o'clock. My time, you know, Central Time. That's nice. Nice mod. Anyway, I guess I'll get out of here, Fathwell. and whoever else is watching. And I'll do another live show. I don't know when I do them. I just do them, sporadically. I try to catch up on some of the news. You'll see that in the beginning of the video when you watch the replay. I did 45 minutes of the news, and then I got into this great chat with Fathwell. And but I don't know when I do these live shows, and it's just I like to try to do them at least once a month, just to keep up to date on the news. I mainly use the live shows for the news. Looking down, bad habit. So I mainly use the live shows for news, unless there's a breaking, something breaking news, like something like when the Food and Drug Administration puts out the full flavor ban. I'll do probably a live show then, but that's about the only times that I'll do live shows on this channel. The Jacob Clare channel just is sort of going away in its own way. I do what's in the news, or let's say this much, but that's about pretty much it. The FDA warning letters, I don't know. I was going to do the one on fogging out with the Batman, but I don't know. He only has 2 flavors, 2 e-liquids that the FDA would be interested in. So I don't know if I may or may not. I don't know. So that's sort of slowing down a little bit on the FDA warning letters. So it's mainly, let's say this much, and what's in the news, So I don't know if I'm sure the people on YouTube, in the so-called vaping community, they do not miss me. I'm sure you can see Jay Hayes is putting out a lot of these videos in regards to quote-unquote advocacy. Mainly because it's really free reign. He's not going to get any critique from me, really. So he's free to put as much misinformation he wants out there. So that's pretty much what has happened with these 2 channels of mine. Sort of gives me a lot of free time for my own personal projects that I do, mainly music and stuff. I'm working on this one music project that I'll probably upload to this channel soon. But that's pretty much what's come of these 2 particular channels. So I don't know when I'll go live again, but it was great speaking with you, Fathwell, and you can always, like I say, you always watch the replay. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here, and guys, have a good one. And regardless if you hear a lot of critique from me when it comes to the FDA, CTP, and CDC, and HHS, and many other governmental entities, as well as health groups, as well as all the other stuff. Vaping, I'm 60 years old. I have nothing to lose. I care about those that are at the age of 20 or 30 or 40, of course. But, I've been vaping since April 2011, which is a very long time, at least in my book. And I do love vaping, believe it or not. I do really love it. I love the variety. I love that I'm able to build. I love my do-it-yourself. So don't ever get me wrong that I don't like vaping. Some people think I hate vaping. I don't. I love vaping, actually. And I vape before I go to sleep, when I wake up, and during the entire day. At work, I vape. I'm always vaping at least every 2 minutes. So I'm always vaping, usually. So I love vaping. Don't ever get me wrong. But, vaping does need to go through those PMTAs. But nevertheless, don't ever get me wrong. I do love vaping. And us hardcore vapors, like Fathwell and many others, that are hardcore, that have been vaping for years, will always be vaping regardless of what the FDA does. It's just the way it is. And Um, I don't see the FDA really coming after the consumer. They may eventually, but that would be 10, 20 years from now. It would be a very, very long time before they come down the ladder to that level. But they're definitely targeting the vaping industry. So as far as the consumer or the advanced vapor or people like Fathwell, myself, and many others out there, we'll be vaping for a very, very long time, well past May 11th of 2020. So just wanted to put that out there for any of you guys that think that, I'm against vaping or something. So it's just the way it is. Anyway, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm milking it to death. Yeah, I mean, I could do, I could do nicotine gum. I could do nicotine lozenges to get my nicotine. Definitely can do it that way. But the vaping experience to advanced vapors mainly. These are I'm not talking about newbies or even the intermediate that do like sub-ohm tanks and stuff like that. But I'm talking about people that build, okay, be it RDA, RDTAs, GTAs, whatever it may be. It's a whole experience. And so it's a hobbyist. And so you collect all kinds of stuff. You got your tools to build, you got your cottons, you got your wires, and you have gotten, like, I got most of my stuff over a period of years that I've collected this stuff over a period of years. And so to just say, well, just to give it up, well, it's very difficult to do that. And that's where most of the advanced vapors will always find one way or another to vape, even if it just turns into do-it-yourself only. So don't ever think that I hate vaping or I dislike vaping. I love vaping. I just believe that the vaping industry does need to be tamed and that they need to go through the PMTAs. But outside of that, us vapors that are consumers will always find a way to vape. Most advanced vapors go on the black market. I won't go on the black market, but I have my do-it-yourself. And so if I need to, as long as it's for personal consumption, the FDA is not going to come after it, at least not now. Like I said, that won't be until years from now, probably 5, 10, 20 years from now before they come after do-it-yourself. Just like they have do-it-yourself beer making and wine making. It's the same concept as long as it's done personal consumption. So if I have to make my 3 milligrams of free-base nicotine with my flavors, then so be it. And that's how I'll continue to vape. But of course, it needs to be definitely go through PMTAs. But like I said, advanced vapors will find a way to always vape. I don't BS myself on that. I know you guys, like I know myself as a vapor. So I'll always be around, That's okay. Well, I mean, I'm milking it to a degree. I am, but I have stopped buying these vape mods, and what I always wanted, and I never got it. I was never able to get it, and I should have got it when I was buying the hardware. Was the Mike Vapes' Recurve Dual RDA? I have the single RDA, but I don't have the dual RDA. I would love to buy that, and this stupid ethic of mine is stopping me from doing it. But that's out of all my regrets with vaping, that's one of my big regrets is not buying the Recurve Dual RDA. I think that would have been a great RDA. So, but anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. But yeah, I just want to put that out there as a footnote to you guys that I am not against vaping. Don't get me wrong. I just believe it needs to go through a process in order for it to be on the market, especially for the newbies that are just getting into vaping or smoker switching or whatever. But us advanced vapors, I don't BS myself on that. will always be around in one form or another, and will always get their products in one form or another. And for personal consumption, it's fine, and that's really all that matters. So I just wanted to, just sort of put that out there because I know people think like I'm anti-vaping or something, Yeah, yeah. I only watch a little bit of Jay Hayes' videos. Um, I don't watch a lot of the quote unquote advocacy or commentary videos anymore. Very little do I watch. And if I do watch it, I'll watch maybe 5 minutes of it, get the gist of it, go through the open transcript, read a little bit of that, and then end it. Before, when I used to do like Will You Wind Up on This Channel, War 2019, or even In the Name of Clarification, or the Made It Right, Make It Right, I would have pages and pages of detailed notes. I don't do that anymore. But I can well imagine he's coming up with all these conspiracy theories. Regardless if he comes up with these theories or not, we're going to have a full flavor ban coming out of the FDA, and all these states are doing what they're doing. So, and then the local governments and counties are doing what they're doing, the municipalities. They're going to clamp down, regardless of how much he talks about it or not. No matter how many theories he has, they're going to clamp down. They're going to get rid of vaping as you and I know it. And maybe something will get approved by the FDA with an FDA marketing order to put it on the market, but it's a very long shot. But like I said, advanced vapors will always find a way to vape, even if they have to turn to do-it-yourself e-liquids. And we have enough mods and tube mech mods and fully mechanical box mods and regulated mods and variable voltage device mods and you name it to always have the hardware around. I mean, eventually these boards and these particular regulated mods are going to die out. But you always have your fully mechanical box mods and tube mech mods and your hybrid tube mech mods, and as long as you keep them nice and clean, they'll always be around forever. So, and the RDAs, you always have them around. You always can buy wire, cotton. So advanced vapor will always be around. Always be around. Anyway, I said I'm going to let this live show go 15 minutes ago, and here I am talking again. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there so you guys know exactly where I stand now with vaping. I don't BS myself at all. I know exactly what it's all about. I understand advanced vapors because I am an advanced vapor. So always be around one form or another. Anyway, you guys have a good one. I will do that RDA thing with the copper RDA and the cotton. And I'll put it in a comment either on the Jacob Clare or on this channel and tell you sometime let me vape on it a little bit. I'll do it right after this live show. I'll build. So let me vape on it for about a good 24 hours, and I'll let you know sometime tomorrow night sometime in a comment if the cotton got all gunked up or not. And see what happens. That's right, when old people start talking, yeah, we yak. You got to get it all out because you never know when you're going to die. Might die in 2 minutes. Anyway, but let you guys go. It was good. It was nice chat I had with you, Fathwell. I never really had a chat with you one-on-one, and it's good to throw ideas around and talk with each other. Anyway, you guys have a good one, and bye. Now I have to remember how to get out of this. I'm using XSplit. So I'll figure out how to do this. Let's see.